As China's naval fleet undergoes rapid modernization, at a pace reminiscent of dumplings being churned out, with the number of new Type 052D destroyers reportedly surpassing the 30-ship mark, and the 10,000-ton Type 055 destroyers leading the world in advanced capabilities. Have you noticed that two destroyers once entrusted with heavy responsibilities seem to be fading quietly into the background of the era? They are the only two Type 051C destroyers in the PLA Navy's fleet, the Shenyang and the Shijiazhuang. A thought-provoking question emerges. Amidst the explosive growth of naval equipment today, why have these once mainstay vessels shown no signs of mid-life upgrades? Are they truly destined to be excluded from modernization, gradually fading from the front lines? What technical challenges and strategic considerations lie behind this? Let us peel back the layers and delve into the fate of these two unique vessels. Time rewinds to the early 21st century, a pivotal transition period for the Chinese Navy, as it ventured into the deep blue. Facing severe regional air defense pressures, the Navy urgently needed flagship vessels capable of forming a maritime air defense umbrella. While the four modern-class destroyers imported from Russia provided some combat capability, the urgent need to independently build a long-range air defense system was pressing. Thus, the Type 052C destroyer, hailed as China's Aegis, emerged, equipped with the domestically developed Type 346 phased array radar and a vertical launch system with cold launch capability. It marked the Chinese Navy's first regional air defense destroyer. However, any pioneering equipment inevitably faces growing pains in its early stages. Several key subsystems of the Type 052C were still undergoing integration and maturation at the time, making large-scale production difficult in the short term. Yet the maritime defense front could not wait. Maritime and aerial threats would not slow down while our technology climbed a learning curve. It was precisely under this urgent need to act immediately that an emergency solution based on a mature platform was put into action. By integrating a proven Russian-made long-range air defense system onto the hull of the existing Type 051B destroyer, the Shenzhen, a vessel with regional air defense capabilities was rapidly developed. This was the original intent behind the creation of the Type 051C destroyer. Thus, from its inception, the Type 051C bore distinct transitional and backup characteristics. It employed relatively traditional steam propulsion, earning it the moniker, one of the 7 steam-powered ships, among military enthusiasts alongside predecessors like the modern class, and Type 051B, a choice reflecting conservative propulsion strategy. Its core combat systems, however, were entirely Russian-derived. The massive tombstone atop the bridge, the Russian-made 30 and 6E1 single-face rotating passive phased array radar, serves as its eyes. Meanwhile, the 6 sets of 8-cell Russian-style, rotary vertical launch systems deployed at the bow and stern, totaling 48 launch cells, form its fists. These are specifically designed to launch the 4, 8 and 6E series of air defense missiles with a range of approximately 150 kilometers. This system shares origins with Russia's Slava-class cruisers, boasting formidable capabilities at the time that elevated the Type 051C to the North Sea Fleet's most potent, shielded destroyer for the first decade of the 21st century. However, this fusion of Eastern and Western elements, or more accurately, a Russian core within a Chinese hull, introduced inherent limitations. To accommodate the bulky Russian VLS within the limited hull space, designers had to make sacrifices. The 4 VLS units at the stern completely occupied the helicopter hangar space. This meant the Type 051C theoretically lacked conventional helicopter berthing and maintenance capabilities, significantly compromising its aviation anti-submarine warfare and long-range surveillance capabilities. Furthermore, the ship's combat command, data link, and electronic warfare systems diverged from later domestic mainstream platforms, creating inherent compatibility issues and limiting upgrade potential from the outset. In 2006 and 2007, 2 Type 051C destroyers entered service. Like two master craftsmen each possessing unique skills, they loyally guarded the nation's maritime borders during a specific historical period. In the years before the Type 052C matured and the Type 052D emerged, they served as vital reinforcements for the Navy's long-range air defense backbone. However, the pace of China's military technological advancement surpassed all expectations. With the comprehensive maturation and explosive growth of domestically developed shipborne combat systems, particularly after 2010, the Type 052D destroyers, equipped with universal vertical launch systems and offering more balanced and powerful performance, began mass production and entered service in rapid succession. Later, the globally leading Type 055 10,000-ton destroyers emerged, transforming the Chinese Navy's destroyer fleet beyond recognition. At this juncture, the status of the two Type 051Cs became increasingly delicate. Their steam propulsion systems required relatively complex maintenance, while their Russian-made radars and weapon systems increasingly diverged from the rapidly evolving Chinese Aegis system, posing challenges for data sharing and joint operations. More critically, their platform design limited scope for further upgrades. So why hasn't the Navy undertaken a large-scale modernization program for the Type 051C, as it did for the modern class, Type 052B, and even the earlier Type 051B, as they approach mid-service life? This is not a matter of capability. China's shipbuilding industry now possesses the capacity to overhaul any complex warship. The core issue lies in the extreme balancing act between cost and benefit. A transformative upgrade of the Type 051C would necessitate extensive modifications. The Russian phased array radar would need replacement with a domestic model, requiring major alterations to the bridge structure. The 48-cell Russian vertical launch system would require complete removal and replacement with a domestic universal hot launch system, entailing not just weapon replacement, but comprehensive restructuring of the hull, ammunition storage, and launch control systems. Converting the steam propulsion system to gas turbines, or modernizing it would be equally monumental, and integrating entirely new domestic integrated command systems, data links, electronic countermeasure systems, and more. The funding, timeline, and technical investment required for all this would be enormous. Upon calculation, such exorbitant retrofitting costs could approach, or even exceed the construction cost of a new Type 054B frigate. Even after modernization, the platform potential of the upgraded Type 051C would cap its overall combat capability, likely reaching only that of an enhanced Type 054 or early Type 052C, falling short of matching the Type 052D. Given the historic leap in naval equipment systems, and the abundant production capacity for new vessels today, investing massive resources and precious drydock time into these two rare ships, with unique platform foundations, offers poor strategic value. A practical logic governs naval equipment development for platforms that are few in number, possess strong system uniqueness, and present high modification difficulties. Large-scale upgrades are often not the optimal choice. Therefore, the fate of the Type 051C destroyers may well follow a different trajectory. Drawing on practices from other navies, such specialized vessels might undergo limited life extension maintenance, focusing on updating fundamental electronic systems like communications and navigation. This would ensure their propulsion and Russian-made main combat systems remain operational for their remaining service life, allowing them to continue fulfilling specific roles, such as undertaking specialized missions or serving as training ships. Resources will instead be prioritized toward constructing additional Type 052D, Type 055, and future advanced vessels. This represents not neglect of these veterans, but a rational strategic allocation of resources. They embody the wisdom of the Chinese Navy during its arduous development phase, enabling rapid formation of critical combat capabilities while bearing witness to the transformative journey from technology assimilation to indigenous innovation. Today, as new generations of domestically built Aegis destroyers patrol the oceans in formation, these two unique Russian-designed Aegis vessels may quietly recount the story of the PLA Navy's tenacious, pragmatic innovation through their original appearance before finally retiring with honor. Their enduring presence serves as a stark contrast to the transformative leap in the PLA Navy's overall combat capabilities.